I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've never been all that enthralled about Joe Johnson's game. Um, for the most part in his career, he was a shooting guard. Last few years, as his athleticism has declined, he's moved over to the small forward position, and now he plays Utah Jazz, where he's a backup. Um, but I've never been all that awed by him. He's never, in my opinion, been a top 2 or 3 shooting guard in the league. He's a good shooting guard, but he's never been like a Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant level player, in my opinion. He's very solid. He's a very dependable scorer. The guy will give you 20 to 25 points per game at times in his prime. But I don't remember a lot of big games from him. You know, I just don't remember a lot of huge, like, putting my stamp on this game or putting my stamp in history type games. I don't remember these types of games from him. I remember him first playing with the Boston Celtics. Okay, many people want to talk about, you know, who Paul Pierce had with him, and I remember him being with the Boston Celtics, if I remember correctly, their first year that he played. And I can't remember whether it was the next year or whether it was that year, but he got traded to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix is where he flourished. He was very good in Phoenix. One year he led the NBA in minutes per game, I think, or total minutes, 1 to 2. But Atlanta Hawks is where he was at his best. Okay, that's when he was a guy consistently putting up 20 plus points per game. Let me go to Basketball Reference right quick. Okay, he had that 1 year he averaged 25 points a game. I was talking about this to a friend of mine the other day. That was the 2006-2007 season when he averaged 25 points per game. Only played 57 games that year, though. It's mighty interesting, man, that I wouldn't be surprised if there was a contract year. You ever notice these guys, when it comes time for the contracts, they always have career years. Then when they sign these big contracts, they go back down to, you know, somewhat middling numbers. Like he dropped from 25 points per game to 21.7 points per game. He never cracked 22 points a game for the rest of his career. And you can't say age because he was only 25 years old. That's what really irritated me about Joe Johnson. He signed that big contract. He played that 1 year like a near superstar level, and then his numbers just dropped. You know what I'm saying? The year he averaged 25 points a game, he shot 47% from the floor. The next 2 years, 43%, 44%, 46%, 44%. He never played that same level again. But having said that, I was shocked recently to find out that he's at 19,881 career points. Last time I really looked at his totals, you know, when I remember glancing at it, I remember he was at 17,000 or something like that. So he's nearing 20,000 career points, which is often a threshold, at least it was in the past, for players to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, there are some notable exceptions. One notable exception is, of course, Tom Chambers, 20,049 points. 20,049 points. And in some ways, if I remember correctly, that was one of the reasons why he came out of retirement and played with the Sixers briefly. I take that back. He didn't get that mark with the Sixers. He got it with the Jazz. Then he retired. Then he made a comeback with the Sixers, which failed. But he's never been inducted to the Hall of Fame. I think eventually, as the halls become so watered down, I think eventually Chambers might get in. Maybe. But this is the thing about Joe Johnson. 19,881 points, right? At this stage of his career, he's a backup with the Jazz, so he may not get to 20,000 toward the end of this season, but definitely he'll do it next year. But this is the thing that favors him a little bit, right? And anybody else, I would be like, no, he's not getting in. But he's only 35 years old. He's not an especially old player. Yes, he's past his prime, but he has a good, if he's willing to be in that more backup role, he has a good 3 or 4 seasons left in him, I could see. So how high can he go? How high can he go up on that list as far as scoring is concerned? He doesn't have the greatest resume. He's a 7-time All-Star, which is more times All-Star than Reggie Miller, if I'm not mistaken. No, is that right? Is that right? I have to check that out again. He was an All-NBA third team in 2010, the NBA All-Rookie second team in 2002. He was Arkansas Mr. Basketball in 1999, SEC All-Freshman Team 2000, second team All-SEC 2001. 7-time NBA All-Star. Let me check out Reggie Miller. I could have sworn that's one of the knocks on Miller is that he wasn't in a lot of All-Star games despite playing 18 seasons. Let's see. Yeah, he was a 5-time All-Star. So Reggie was a 5-time All-Star playing 18 years, and Joe Johnson is a 7-time All-Star playing, this would be his 17th season, I think. But still, Reggie's resume is better than Joe Johnson. But let me ask you guys something. Do you think that he's a Hall of Famer? Because I just don't see it. You know what I mean? I just don't see Joe Johnson being a Hall of Famer. But tell me what you guys think.